Welcome to another episode of the Choose Your Soul Show. We are your hosts. My name's Hakeem,
My name is Alyssa.
and we are passionate about providing resources and perspective to help you choose yourself and strengthen your soul. Now, you are the star of your own movie. You're the actor and director. Your life is a reflection of your projections. So if you don't like the fact that you're being rejected, you can't change the screen because you can't change other people. You got to change the projector. Come on now. Every show, we got a self-chooser to help you GYM, and that's grow your mind. And this week, we got Mr. David Fisher, y'all, in the building. David, thanks for coming. Appreciate you. How you feeling?
I'm feeling wonderful. I love your intro. It's absolutely true. We are the leading ladies and leading men in our own movie. Make it a drama or make it epic. That's up to you.
Absolutely. We are the main characters. We're so excited to have you. We are reading your story, and so you have a lot of experiences in life. You were an actor. You have spent 3 decades studying human behavior, and now you are an author. You have 15 plus books on Amazon. Go check them out. And you're an artist. And so I'm just want to deep dive into your story. Why don't you tell us about your transition from, because you're an actor for 25 years, right? And you played the bad guy the whole time. And then now you are very into consciousness and helping people step into love. So what was the catalyst for the shift from being an actor as the bad guy role to where you are now?
Okay, I believe the main shift was I had a brand new. I started reading some books, but I got a dog and he ran away as a puppy. And when I finally got him, I grabbed him and screamed at him. And I saw terror in his little puppy face. And I realized, oh God, that's me and I'm my mother. I then went up and looked and I found a statement called negative reinforcement and realized that I had patterns and programmings and conditionings from my violent mother and her aggression that I had taken on and was now parenting my dog. And so that was the start of understanding there's something stuck in me. And there was a lot of anger and a lot of aggression and a lot of violence from my childhood. I got expelled from schools and Hebrew school and Cub Scouts, all for violence, because I had a lot of violence put onto me. And then I end up ironically playing violent roles in Hollywood, dying and killing many, which was a lot of fun. But so then the investigation into what was inside me led me on this journey of discovery to undo all of the anger and all of the pain and all of the hurt, which was, and I can only speak for myself, which was inside of me. And as this journey continued, I became less and less interested in contributing violence to the world and playing those roles, because my whole day was continuously playing disturbed, angry, violent people, being in those characters, rehearsing those characters. And it's not a very nice place to be. It's fun to a degree, but when you're doing it every single day for auditions, for your job, and at the same time, you were trying to actually rid yourself of all of this. So to a certain point, I became more and more disheartened. Then when my mother died, suddenly, I went, what the hell am I doing this for? Because I used to call my mum, hey, mum, I got it. Hey, mum, make her proud, make her happy. Look, mum, look, I'm a good boy, I'm a good boy, I'm a good boy. Then when mum dies, wow. That's where I was getting my validation from. I finally made mummy happy. And when she died, I suddenly realized that I loved acting, but the real drive was an unconscious, subconscious drive to feel validated and loved. So that also started making me lose interest. And there's a very famous, I put it in my book, there's a very famous actor from a long, long time ago called Sir Laurence Olivier. And when he was asked why he went into acting, his answer was, look at me, look at me, look at me, which was, look, see, I'm somebody, look, see. And it's an unconscious drive behind a lot of us to get validation, acceptance, approval, and love because of the dysfunction of our families. So that's how I kind of dissolved out of acting. I still write movie scripts, and I'd like to put a lot of my content. I put a lot of my content in my storytelling for movies, and so that's a point to get those made to start changing the narratives in storytelling.
Dang. Yo, I think that's super relatable for everybody. You know, I've been through it before. I've had people who I love tell me things that literally I thought were true my whole life until I went inward and started to identify those things. And I think that's what these conversations and these stories and the proof and the resources help people do. And I say it all the time. If you get caught up developing a character for others and neglecting your character for yourself, there's going to be friction, and there goes your mental health. because the friction between who you're presenting and who you truly are is what causes a confusion and the inability to take a risk and the inability to have confidence in adversity and the inability to identify the opportunities that are actually made for the version that you're supposed to be. And I think, you just explained that with, you're being a bad guy for the wrong reasons, and it spilled over into your life. And once the catalyst, the reason was gone, which for you it was your mom, but for some people it's, you know, possessions or status or money or women, and you're developing this character to attract all these things. So once you take the value away from the external variables, then what do you have left? Like that's the realization you came. Once mom was gone, what do I have left? Once we start focusing on ourselves, it becomes less about the external world. So yeah, that's dope, man. Great story. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, and the original abandonment of why we seek externally is that we have to get to survive, because we all come from this thing called a nuclear family where we have two parents if we're lucky. We're supposed to be raised in community, in a tribe, in a village. It's supposed to be a whole slew of people around. So now we're fighting to survive, for attention, for approval, for acceptance. And because the way our system runs, our parents, if you do this, I'll love you. If you don't do this, you won't get loved. You'll get punished. You'll get shouted at. You might even get beaten, or even worse. So now I'm in survival to feel safe, to get acceptance, approval, validation, and love. It's outside of me. Where when I was a baby, I was full. I was me, authentic. Now I abandon that to get my love, to feel safe. Now I go great to school, and I have to get a gold star. So now gold star. Now I have to perform to get a gold star. External validation. Now I go to school. External validation. Peer pressure. External validation. Approval. Acceptance. That authentic truth of us all has been forsaken, neglected, and abandoned. And now we're chasing, like you said, women, status, money, something make me feel what I've lost, what I gave up.
Yeah. And they give you those two options. In school it's do this or fail. In this system, it's follow the law or go to jail. In religion, man-made religion especially, it's do this or go to hell. So it's one or the other, and they always give you a horrible thing if you don't do what they say, but that in reality you don't have to do either of those.
Yeah, don't do I was thinking about that, as they say, you should do this, you should do that. Hold on a minute. I'm a very unique individual. I have a purpose of this. And if I follow how I should be and do, and well, now I'm lost. Immediately, I'm lost.
It's always interesting hearing about these transitions too, especially when you're in the acting world or becoming famous or the spotlight's always on you, because it seems like from us muggles' point of view, it's like, oh, they have an amazing life and there's so much going on, but it's really a deeper meaning behind why you went into it in the first place. And then when you unravel it, it becomes like such a clear picture. And this kind of leads into what we want to talk about next. Because in one of your recent posts, I was just kind of like deep diving on your page yesterday. You said, we are raised into pure dysfunction and blindness. And then you led into the fact that all we have to do is clear the lenses of our perceptions to gain awareness and change our trajectories. So how do we clear the lenses? I think that's the big question that everyone wants to know. How do we become aware of our inner demons that we all deal with?
So let's go to what is the clearest lens of perception is the unconditional. So once upon a time, let's just say every single one of us at the breast was being held, seen, met. It was beautiful. It was the most, oh my God, this is bliss, this is great. Everything's here at the breast. That imprint, that unconditional, that's who we are. So everything that's not unconditional, all of our upsets, all of our disturbs, all of our neurosis, all of our insecurities are what we have now constructed since the breast. So we need to actually reverse engineer, resolve and dissolve to come back to that unconditional. I'm not religious, but only the children will enter the kingdom. That essence of every single one of us exists within us, but we smothered it and covered it with blurred lenses of perception. Let's just say, one of the lenses of my perception for a lot of my life, because I was an academic, I had to go to special schools. I was berated by parents, berated by peers, berated by teachers. I felt stupid, bad, wrong, no good. That is now a lens of perception that I see through. That is what I lived through. So I became a rebel, an angry, tough guy, because I had the shame of feeling bad. So now I'm seeing through all these filters and lenses. So that's one lens, is What
Mhm.
would come up? What would come up when someone would say something? I go, don't talk to me like an idiot. That's me talking through the lens of I'm stupid and I think I'm stupid. I have these lenses of I'm unworthy, I'm no good, I'm bad, I'm undeserving, no one cares about me, I'm unsafe. So we see through these lenses and that will get triggered. Life is mirroring back to me what is stuck inside of me. And so the navigation of this is what is that? It's an inquiry. Something's coming up that's upsetting me. So now I go into this inquiry, and that can be done through inner child work. And I find out that this is a lens of perception I've been seeing through. So when I feel that come up again, I know this is not a true story. This is an old lens of my wounded child. And it's a process because I've been well practiced and well rehearsed. Talk about the actor of my movie. My character, my script was built off of my wounded child of being stupid. So I played stupid. I played that stupid character really well. Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me because I will cover that stupid. Me being a tough guy was covering up my shame. So all the lenses of perception, our insecurities, our shyness, our worries, even scarcity is a lens of perception. Most of us have been raised in families with new money. So we all have scarcity about money, money issues. So we now see, oh, a bill comes in. Oh, fucking, no. That is seeing through the lens of perception of scarcity. It's insidious. It comes up all the time. Everything that is disturbing us and upsetting us, that makes us feel insecure, that brings us down, that isn't unconditional, is the opportunity to face it and do the work.
Mm-hmm. Opportunity. That's what
Yeah.
you said. And that's what I try to help in my community is to get the habituality, get the systems in place to prepare for that opportunity. You don't want to wait to repair your roof in the rain. You're going to slip and bust your shit. You know what? If you know the housework needs work, take the time before and after your sleep and implement the systems that allow you to become the version, that allow you to develop the traits so that when that comes, when that ego death comes, when that loss comes, when that trigger point comes, when those perceptions pop up, you've already done the reflection to identify your intention and your authenticity, and it's top of mind. So you can say, oh, when the quitting mind, the softened mind, the ego pops up, you can be like, hold up, I remember you. You the one that told me to snooze. You the one that told me the cold shower was cold. You the one that told me not to go to the gym. You the one that told me to eat some bullshit. You the one that told me I was stupid, I was broke, I was fat. And as you put these systems in, these controllable struggles that increase the volume on that voice, you can overcome it. Then you start to work that mental muscle. And now you can use that muscle when the uncontrollables come in. And that's really, it's the preparation leading up to the adversity that allows a speedy recovery for sure.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
The mental muscle is attached to we are an emotional, psychological, mental, biological, physiological, chemical system. So the mental is attached to so much more that runs, so the nervous system especially. So we could have an intellectual understanding. People can watch this and go, oh my God, that makes sense. But your nervous system and your biological system all release chemicals. So your worry, your stress, your scarcity, all pump fucking chemicals into your body. And like a little, your body goes, give me more scarcity, give me more fear, give me more doubt. I wanna feel useless. So every time I release chemicals, my body's like, yeah. And my nervous system wants to stay the same. So there's this whole force like a tsunami to go, no, that's not what I'm playing out. I'm not that person. It's like a pattern and a loop of this addict to ourselves. And it's pretty powerful because you'll find younger people who learn this information, they get it really quick because their patterns and their programmings and their addiction to their neurosis has been so short that they get it and they can snap out of it. I'm where I am, and it's taken me a certain amount of time. I think this information is now becoming better and better that we can refine it more. But these patterns and programmings and conditionings are very well set into this addictive me. I'm an addict to me. Even
Yeah.
my misery, the misery. That's why the victim is so addictive.
comfort. Yeah, comfort. They're used to it. What you're used
Absolute.
It's just like that quote, like, "You're gonna stay in a comfortable hell over an uncomfortable heaven because your body is so used to it, you'd rather choose the comfortability." And it's so I teach this too, you have to use your emotions as teachers, and what is it trying to teach you when it comes up, and then dissect it and go back, like, if you're feeling some sort of pain or anger or frustration, where did you first feel that? And try to go back to childhood because it always comes from childhood. I just uncovered this where I had this acknowledgement wound where I wasn't acknowledged at all growing up, or, my dad had a second family. I was the second family, so he would always choose his first family over me. And then growing up, even showing up in relationships and businesses, like there's always someone better than me. I was dating people who were not really on the same spectrum as me because I was better than them, so they couldn't choose someone better than me, even though they weren't really at my level when it came to like ambition or growth. And so I'm like, wow, I'm really dragging people along because of this. I don't want them to choose someone over me because of this wound that I have from deep childhood. So it's just crazy how it affects everything, right? Business, relationships, all of it.
So this is very important. You said your father chose them over you.
Yes,
This is a perception how you interpreted. Your father had different families. He was doing his best where he was to be whatever he could be. Little you says he made a choice and I'm second best. You do that.
yeah,
He does nothing wrong but try and cope with his choices, which he now has these, oh God, look what I've got. Oh, I need to go there. Maybe the mother of, I don't know the story, but maybe the mother or the woman of these children is a little dominating. And so he dares. And so now he's forced to spend more time here. The little you over here makes this thought that he's not choosing me. So I'm not loved, but he loves you just as much. But maybe this woman has got a grip on him, and so he has to spend more time over there. So that again is a lens of perception of I'm not chosen, and that's not true.
yeah. And so I just uncovered this, like, in the last 2 weeks. I'm like, "Wow," because I was going deeper and deeper and uncovering all these layers. I'm like, "It's coming from this, like, really deep young childhood." When I was at first uncovering it through my teenage years and my, early college years and stuff, and I'm like, "There's even more. It goes deeper and deeper than this." So it's interesting to unravel the perception, really pinpoint where it came from, and then realize that you are enough, that you are chosen, but it's like peeling back that layer of that perception that we put on ourselves. You're right.
And then it really boils down to just the feeling. What am I feeling? And I keep feeling this feeling, feeding the loop and playing the same pattern. That's the essence of it, is believing the feeling, then the dialogue comes, the narrative comes, I'm not chosen, but it's really a feeling and a pattern and a loop of feeding it again and again and again. And the nervous system of the little girl who didn't feel chosen is ruling all of that. And
Exactly.
it wants to keep you feeling not chosen, wants to feeling woe is me, wants you feeling victim because that's its safe familiar.
Yes.
Go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it's Oh, and then the ego is built off of the suffering. You take the suffering away. That's why the spiritual ego is so clever. It doesn't want you to do this work. So take the suffering away. It doesn't mean you kill the ego. It just means I'm in control of you now. Shut up. Take
Yes.
the passenger seat. I'm driving this movie.
Yeah, there's two books. One, Ego is the Enemy, and Ego is Not the Enemy, and they both kind of say the same thing. They say ego is the enemy as a wise spiritual controlling component, but it doesn't have to be the enemy if you become aware of it and you understand it. Then it can just be an alarm system, an alert system of what your suffering is, of what your victory mentality is. If you become aware of it and you practice it, but it's hard for us to do that if we get out of our head. Do you have any techniques, methods that you've used to identify those limiting beliefs or preconceptions put on us in childhood?
Again, going back to how do we change the lens of perception? The warning light, engine warning light, you know,
Violet light.
pilot light is the fact that okay, I'm upset and disturbed. I'm not feeling joy. I mean, no, we don't always have to be on it, as they say. But what's this that's coming up? I can either fall into the unconsciousness of my victim, of my worry, of my doubt, of my scarcity, but really it's a feeling. Oh, here's a feeling. That is the warning light for me. Now, I have really practiced and rehearsed to come into this second nature of awareness and conscious awareness. But really, it's whatever is disturbing and upset me. Oh, okay. now I expand. So you were just talking about the good ego, bad ego, whatever. I say we are beast, we are ego, and we are higher self. The beast is sex and survival, fight or flight. The ego is everything that's been conditioned from my unconditional. Now I have my perceptions, wounds, traumas, limiting beliefs, and unresolved issues. My higher self, that's the muscle we need to buff so it sees all of the other stuff going on. Ah, okay. Okay, because the beast and the ego get caught up, and that's where all the sexual issues and relationship issues get messed up. So the higher self is a muscle that needs to be worked on, and that's conscious awareness. Once I'm conscious aware and I build the conscious awareness, I can warning light. Okay, what's that? That's something. I'm disturbed. I'm upset. What is this? It's scarcity. Why am I doing? Oh, I'm caught in a pattern again. So it's everything that is, and it's tough because insidiously and unconsciously our whole life we believe who we are. I believe that I was stupid. I believe that this was who I was. I believe that I got angry and snappy and defensive and attack and did. That's who I thought I was. I thought I was my ego, my construct, my beliefs about myself, my perception. So it's building the conscious awareness of watching the self. And that, to most people, to the grave, don't watch a single thing that they do. So it's really, I'm trying to remember the journey of watching myself. I think it was when I first read Eckhart Tolle, and I realized, oh my God, this is what ego is. And I had no idea that there was this actor, this character that was ruling my life, and I didn't even know that's what was happening. So then, as soon as I realized that I could watch my thoughts, oh, there you go. Look at that. Oh, I'm rambling on again. All right. So it's the practice of watching myself. And that in itself is the key conscious awareness to the beginning of it all, because otherwise the ego is devious. It wants you in your victim. It wants you suffering. So it does not want you being aware of it.
Yes. Observer in the video game, like, not being the player in the video game, but being the actual not the character in the video game, but the peer playing and watching it, yeah.
And we are actually coming to the scientific understanding that this is some holographic video game.
Yeah.
I mean, on a scientific level, they're actually realizing this, but that's exactly what the soul's journey is. I'm not a human with a soul having this I'm a soul with a human experiencing this experience to learn lessons. Oh, okay, that's a change of the perception. So now the me that I'm playing is I am the gamer playing the character. I am the actor playing the act. If I'm a method actor, I forget that I'm an act and I'm caught in the act. So this is the journey of separating the self through awareness, the watcher, and the observer.
That's AIDS. Your life is a reflection of your projections. If you don't like the rejection, you can't change the screen. You got to change the projector. That's the whole movie. You are the actor and director. You have everything in it, and it's your perception for sure. So basically, first thing to do, you need a GYM, and that's grow your mind. We all talk about books because once you expand the mind, it can't go back. We can find a book that has a paradigm shift and have you look at the world differently. And I also think meditation helps, journaling, conversation. Having to force yourself to speak about yourself. That's where this podcast is so healing for me. Because when I hear things from people like you and these stories, and I'm like, and I'm already in the flow of reflecting and trying to catch myself thinking, and I'm already in that, conscious state. But being around other people like AF and yourself, it helps me strengthen that ability. So definitely people around you, your consumption, the news, the podcast, the music,
My goodness,
all that.
absolutely. The consumption, what you're ingesting and digesting and metabolizing, and this is what people don't realize. I don't subject myself to anything. I don't have a TV. I don't watch TV or movies anymore because the narratives, what play out, it's utter dysfunction. Do you see? And when you really get to a point, you realize everybody in a relationship on TV and movies is dysfunctional, projecting their wounds onto each other without knowing they're wounded children. The writers are wounded children writing this stuff, don't even know they're wounded children. The news is forget it.
For that.
when anybody asks me, I just say, not my circus, not my circus.
Not my circus, man.
And I get it. And they go, you should care. I have compassion. When I see what's going on, sometimes I fall to my knees and I cry. But my job is to be the greatest conscious awareness and light and shine this on the world. And I'm doing amazing work and helping people, and they're helping people and helping. That's how it works. And it's very stealthy and very clever how fear rules. It's written into all the storytelling. And so this perpetuation of ingesting material that's going to keep you stuck in a lower regions of your consciousness.
That's
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
do it on purpose. They fill you with fear and anxiety and stress on purpose. They highlight all of the negative stuff in the news so that you do stay in those lower states of consciousness and those lower emotions so that you're easier to control. Because I'm like, this is my purpose, is to help you stay uplifted, help you find joy, help you find what makes you happy, and do that every day. What is your vision? What do you want to create? Instead of focusing on all this bad shit in the world, like, if you can control it, what can you do about it? Then do something. But if you can't, then focus on yourself, because you're going to have a ripple effect out to everybody else. That's going to have a positive effect on everyone. So focus on you, because that's also helping the world in a way too.
Yeah, I mean, it's the classic Gandhi be the change. And if you know the story of how Gandhi got India back, it's astounding. It's mind blowing how he taught his people to protest in peace and love and not with violence. And I just actually very, very shortly am bringing out a very, very small fictional book based off of just this. Now, it's not media, history, religion, race, color, all of it, divide and conquer. And the use of fear is astounding in how it reduces us, shrinks us consciously, and divides us and keeps us apart. And throughout history, for thousands of years, humanity has been kept in the lower regions of consciousness through many, many clever tactics in play. And right now, because of the media, it's so easy. It's very hypnotic with the media machine. So this has been, again, this book's coming out soon, and it's a beautiful fictional story about a wizard who gets reincarnated to save humanity from fear. That's just the short of it. But through bringing love back. And this is what we're doing on this conversation. This is what I say. We're in this amazing place and time and space of the million gurus. We have incredible reach from social media to assist and help people. And just by my work, what I did, just because I needed to heal myself, my book is selling thousands. I'm booked out in my private work. My social media is growing. People are telling me I'm changing their lives. Thank you. My relationship's better. Wow. I'm just little old me, and I just doing my thing. And it's like, wow, imagine if we all do this. That's it. A game changer. Game
Yeah.
changer.
Yeah, choose yourself to be chosen. That's the thing. That's the name of my book. I just wrote my first book, just dropped on Thursday, about my life story, some reflection points and principles and tools to help you go within and really take accountability and accept your story, because that's what pushes us to create our future, our story and the acceptance of it and the things we acquired from it. But if we never face it, it controls our future because of what we said. Now we have a lens if you don't face it. So going backwards and unbecoming is what helps us move forward. And the more we are like others, the less we are who we're supposed to be. If you try to get that title, that promotion, you try to get the new car, try to save money, trying to do all these things that are externally everywhere, will always keep that friction that I was just talking about. Politics, pop culture, media, sports, all that stuff is, made to keep us divided, like you were saying, man. So yeah, I appreciate everything you do. And I think everybody should write their story, even if you don't sell it, because even just writing it and having to write down the chapters of trauma and the chapters of adversity, and then write down my victim story that I thought, and then try to zoom out into that higher self, look over the ego and the beast and see what the growth was. That exercise in writing the story in every chapter, that shit healed me for real. And so I got people in my community. I was like, y'all should write a book. I don't care if you just leave it when you die, leave it for your kids, hide it, bury it, burn it, but just writing it freaking had amazing, healing components to it for me, for sure.
That's beautiful. That's a self-reflection, straight there. And that's, again, there's so much distraction. And obviously we're creating a podcast interview for people to get some information, but there's so much distraction that takes people away from their reflection. I can quite easily spend a whole day not sitting and, oh, what is that coming up? What is this feeling? Oh no, I'll have some sugar, I'll have some weed, I'll have some booze, I'll swipe left, swipe right, find Mr. and Mrs. Right on a dating site, go out dating, go out. No, there's so many ways to escape self-reflection. Again, it's a choice. There's no wrong or right. I know people in my life for a long time and they're not on this journey, and I love them and I have compassion for them. Everyone is where they are, and their soul, who knows, in a year, I know where I was, and I know that all of a sudden I changed. I know people in my journey who thought I was a fucking idiot for studying this stuff. And now they're on it. Now they get it. Now we talk, and it's wonderful. So everybody is where they are and can and cannot change, but there's no wrong or right where they are. But self-reflection, I love that. Yeah, write your story. Look, take a good look at yourself, not with judgment, but just go, wow, look, this is what I went through, and this is where I am.
Yeah, it's very powerful, the reflection journaling. I don't think that enough people put actual pen to paper, because once you start doing that, this is how I just had my little discoveries over the last couple weeks, because I was journaling about my traumas or my triggers and my how I was holding myself back, and then more started to come up, because it's like, oh, like you start to pull things out as you journal, and I don't think enough people take the time to sit with themselves to do that. And when it comes to social media, this is why I love it too. Like, we all three are in different cities across the whole country. I'm in Minnesota, you're in California, Keem's in New York City, and it's like, wow, we get to come together and have these conversations and spread our light. And I know we both too on our personal pages get a lot of messages of us helping people with what we're sharing. So it's like, filter your feed. We say this all the time too. Like, what are you following? Because the more you consume that's trashy, that's negative, that's how you're going to feel from day to day. So make sure that you understand and have that observation of yourself. If you are feeling constantly negative, like, what are you consuming all the time? It comes back to what you're consuming. So read some books. And I think it's really funny. Everyone we interview, everyone's story starts with a book they read. And it's all into the books. And you have a book. So you're writing a book right now. Super excited.
Sorry, say that again?
50 tips.
Yeah.
But you're writing a book right now, the Wizard book.
Yeah. I've taken some off because they were such an early part of my early development that I'm not embarrassed by them. But don't read that. It's not. I've got software update. Update. So I've kind of, you can't actually remove books from Amazon. They have a policy that once they've sold, they have to leave them on there because people will need to resell secondhand. So there are some that you can't buy, but I think there's about 8 or 9 that are still there. A lot of them are children's books with really good conscious messages in the map, which is this
Oh,
one.
yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
This thing is selling thousands, and this is the nutshell of 20 years, 30 years, where here's the story. So I've been on my journey, and a few years ago, I tell my ex-girlfriend, there needs to be everything in one book. This has got that, and that's got that, and this teacher taught me that, and this master, and it all needs to be in one. She said, yeah, it's a great idea. And it needs to be called the map so everybody can travel life. Yeah. So I sat on that and I left it. And I was doing my work. I was on the journey. And then May last year, in my sleep, a voice came to me, and this happens throughout my life.
I love that.
And the voice says, write the map. Write the map. Like, okay, all right. So I thought,
Oh, it's like that too. Like,
I start writing, and I'm not structuring it. There's something coming through, which I'm very aware of. And I'm like, okay. And as this is happening, social media blows up, and it doesn't stop blowing up. Now, it starts doing this because I've done so much work to get to the point that talk about my self-perception creates my projections, which is now being reflected back to me. The universe is saying, look at the work you've done. Now I'm bringing you a reflection of that. Now people are going, do you do private work one-on-one? Yeah, okay.
yep, sure do.
I've
Let
trained.
me get that ready.
I trained as a facilitator, and I trained here, there, and everywhere, but it was for me. I didn't ever think I would do private work. Anyway, I'm writing the book. By the time I finished writing the book, I'm now on 160,000 followers. Okay, I don't need a publisher. I'll bring this out. Boom. Boom. Wow. And now I'm booked up 2 months in advance. And that was May last year that it all, and I had no idea. And now I'm doing podcasts here, there, and everywhere. And now I'm assisting. He's like, why is this? because I read a book once upon a time, I put in the work and I kept doing the work, and this is where I'm supposed to be. And I understand acting and I understand that world. Not for me. I look back, go, wow, that person does not live in me anymore.
Was what was the book, like the first book you read that started changing everything?
Well, I mean, I'd read Conversations with God, and that was really wonderful. But Eckhart Tolle utterly shifted me to a point. It's really funny because what's his name? Jim Carrey says about Eckhart Tolle. He read the book, and one morning he woke up and he finally got it. And he said, and then ever since that moment, he's been trying to find it again. But he got that moment. Well, when I read Eckhart Tolle, I got it so much that I went home to London to visit, to go and spend time and live with my neurotic Jewish mother. And I was in this blissed out enlightenment where my alcoholic brother, my neurotic mother, nothing affected me. And I had this taste of, wow, this is what life can be. And of course, it didn't last, but I got the realization that everything around me can be how it is. How I am, this is all me. So I got a taste, and then I had to then go in and undo the doing and resolve and do all the work. But it showed me this is what's on the other side when you do face yourself and reflect. And so, yeah, the book, the map is astounding. It's this very, very simple journey of how we got to be, all of us, going from the nuclear family, the patriarchy, all of what they label wounds and trauma, but what they really are. And it's so simple, and it's doing such a wonderful job. So, and I'm, like I said, putting this stuff into movies is essential because humans for history have been telling stories around the campfire, in the tribe, in the community, millions of years. This is how we got information, storytelling. Only written books are a fraction of human history. Storytelling is now unconscious, dysfunctional. So when we start putting these narratives into TV and into movies, but very carefully without preaching, people will get educated. They'll go, oh my God, that's what I'm doing. Oh my God. So it's a much more powerful hypnotic medium than a book. And can reach that many more people very, very quickly. So,
So I think that's why I think content is so important. Like the type of content we do, talking to the camera, because it has the image. Some of them have images, but they're able to watch your words, watch the words on the screen. They're able to feel your emphasis, your tonality, your volume. So they're not reading a book from their perception. And sometimes that'll dumb down or dwindle down the energy or the intention of the writer. But when we're doing content with the pauses, emphasis, volume, tonality, it really helps drive that message in. And we saw with
Music.
COVID and the music.
In it.
Yeah, the emotional component. But we saw with COVID what movies do, because every movie up until COVID said to do what we did during COVID: freak out, separate, stay away, stock up on bullshit, and then all of a sudden that shit happened in real life. So what you think is gonna happen during the zombie apocalypse? I don't know. You could probably look at most movies, and we're gonna fucking get.
I don't. I just thought this, but there's a bit of a judgment. But we're already in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, like damn NPC.
PC.
It's a very unconscious apocalypse of zombies who think that the answer is outside of them. And again, I've been there, I've done it, I get it. I have nothing against money. I love my home. I love nice things, but it can't change anything. I was earning great money in Hollywood. I was working with Oscar winning major stars. And I would sit there on our little director chairs waiting for the next scene, and they'd be bitching and moaning about this, that, and the other. And I'd be like, fine, man, I want to be you, and you're still miserable. Was like, but you're this person and you're that person. My God, you're just a fucking normal, miserable, grumbling victim like the rest of us, and you've got everything, and it's still not enough.
Star role and everything, what you went your whole life for, and you still complaining on set.
It's wild.
But that was a wonderful thing to be there and have all these people that I looked up to, and then suddenly start working with amazing people and realize, oh my God, it's not doing a damn thing. It gives them a little ego masturbation, but they're dealing with the same inner shit that everybody else is dealing with. And the worst thing is everybody's giving them adoration and money, and fuck, I'm still stuck in this this disturb inside. That's why we have so many rich and famous, whether they be musicians or actors, going to pharmaceutical pills, and they're all seeing shrinks. They're all desperately caught in this terrible, hold on a minute, I did it. I got to the pinnacle of society. I made it. What did you get? It's like Eckhart Tolle says, you finally get there. You go, finally, I got there. Now everybody wants something from you. Everyone's disingenuous, and it's a very different world when notoriety comes in and people want to know you and want something from you or talk to you very differently. You suddenly realize, shit, there's no going back now, and I'm stuck with where's my real security, my real worth, my real standing within myself. It's a disturbing place to be, and I don't think any human is meant to be that famous.
Hey, Imma steal that ego masturbation though. I gotta use that forever. That was freaking stroking your ego, y'all. Stop it. But I can and stop stroking your dick too, y'all. That's another thing. Stop watching that prayer. That's just as bad.
There's ego masturbation, and there's also this intellectual masturbation, which is I'm spiritual, so I'm now going to do my breath class. I've got nothing against it. But the work is in the moment of every moment. The work is in the inquiry, is feeling the feelings. What is this about? Doing the work, doing the inner child work. But reading books, going to sound baths, saying, be the light,
Even therapy.
even therapy, it becomes an addictive escape instead of, okay, so I do my sessions with people and they're one-off sessions, and I said to someone, do you do inner child work? Oh yeah, I've done inner child work. Oh, how was it? It was amazing. I cried. Tell me about it. Well, I do it once every month with this therapist. Okay. What do you do in between?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you said it's amazing, it's great in therapy, and then you let go.
Yeah.
About every time it arises, you're upset, you're disturbed, you're in scarcity, you feel worthless, no good, bad, wrong. Hey, what's up, little boy? What's up, little girl? Do the work, do the work, do the work, do the work. Expand, evolve, 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 heal, heal, heal. No, I'll just go once a month.
I'm sure.
And then my nervous system snaps back and it laughs, and my ego laughs, and it's just like a fix. There's nothing wrong. But the work is, as Ram Dass said, it's grist for the mill. It's moment to moment.
That's what, hey, and that's real quick. That's why I say that time before and after your sleep without people, screens, or toxins, that's the isolation, the dark place where you have to sit with your thoughts and actually do the things. You got to read, reflect. You can meditate, stretch, body, but you have to pay attention to your thoughts. And that's
And
that people don't like isolation at all. And when you tell stories, you start to realize that the people you thought were your idol are just like you. And so that's why these stories, you're like, you put them on this pedestal because of media and all this money, but then you sit with them on set and they're freaking complaining worse than you because they didn't do work.
And 99% of people will not do that. They cannot put their phones, like, in another room before bed. They just choose not to. They can, obviously, but they choose not to, and then they wonder why they're sitting in this shit pile of negative emotions, and they can't get themselves out, and they're depressed, and then whatever, they don't move their bodies, like, just make some different choices, but again, it goes back to they do not observe themselves to be able to make those choices. They're just stuck in the rat race.
Yeah, and well, I gotta have compassion
Of
because
course.
it's a very disturbing thing to face yourself. And nobody's done it before. Whereas we've look, when we were all children, what did they do to us? They shoved us in front of a TV. We've had this overstimulation from day one. So, I live in the country. I live in a very, very quiet canyon just outside of LA. It's beautiful. And it's very quiet here. And when I first got my house, people would come from the city and they come and go, oh my God, you must be so at peace. I go, yeah, come in here, come in here. I said, because I'm not matching the environment, doing it. It took me 7 years to do the work, to now live here and just go, just 7 years, I'm at peace. But moving here, now I'll be at peace.
Good joke.
You think you're gonna be happy. I mean, if we had everything we had, if everybody had everything that we have, we wouldn't even want it. And so you keep chasing to have the next thing that the next person had or get better. And once you get there, you're gonna seek again. That's why is the book Inner Excellence. It talks about PALMS, PALMS, possessions, achievements, looks, money, status. You chase those, you'll never be happy, ever. Because it's always changing, and you're not. You got to be a trendsetter by choosing yourself, not a trend chaser by choosing others.
But again, we have been indoctrinated to chase outside for mummy and daddy to feel safe. I better be how mummy and daddy want me to be. So now I want a cookie. So now I have to clean my room and do this. Great, I get a cookie. Now I get an excitement and a satisfaction. Gold star at school. So we have been literally trained like seals to go and get something outside of us to feel safe and feel happy. And everybody's competing and comparing. So if I don't, now I'm less a person. So I've got to have this and show. I say this thing, if you look at social media, and it's not just social media, it's really what everybody's wearing and showing. It's all a show and tell. It's a show and tell and show and sell. They're selling the outside. Look, see, I made it. I'm a success. And I say, look at the outside. But if you were to be a fly on the wall in their house, you go, oh, blimey, very different story. Now, if you were a fly on the wall in their consciousness,
Oh shit.
that bling, that Land Rover, none of that means anything. Look how disturbed and miserable this motherfucker is.
Yeah.
And that's just a show that's selling, look, see, I'm happy. I get it. It's all over the place. And I no names, but I was speaking to someone who sold their business for 450 million, and he was still doing drugs, still angry at his children, still, oh, what the fuck? He said, I did it. I got more than everyone. I'm like, yeah, guess what? Means nothing. This is the greatness is when you do this inner work. Now, great. Whatever comes, comes. Then it's great. But having everything and being nothing inside, that's that's when the devil's laughing at you because you're still suffering.
Yeah, and it means shit. You're talking about outside. The first thing that people notice is your body. And right now, we could tell you're unhappy, you can't control your mind, and you're not being kind to your mind and your physique. Whoever, if you, your physique shows your habits and compilation of your choices and self belief up until this point. You obviously value external over internal. I believe the first thing, if you're in tune with your higher self or something greater, or with your future, or you really value the things that mean something, you put more value on your self worth and your health than anything else because you know the impact the overflow has.
No, absolutely. And there are varying degrees of health. And it's also, again, part of an overcompensation for feeling unworthy within ourselves is to have a very beautiful looking body, to go mad at the gym, or to have all of the beauty treatments which people think is self-loving when really they're just showing look. And then they look in the mirror. There was the most stunning, beautiful, gorgeous Asian model on social media at one point. She was just so gorgeous. She said 98% of the time I'm worried about my little tits, and I'm like,
Beautiful little titties, itty bitty titty committee.
dead. 98% of the time, she's consciously unhappy about her little tits. I'm like, you are the most beautiful. Wow. And I suddenly went, it means nothing what I see. It was such a wonderful, bold statement to say, what you see, but what's going on inside, and I speak to people who have an incredible amount of vanity and look after themselves. And I hear what's still going on inside. It's another form of overcompensating. But absolutely, if you are working on yourself, this is your temple. This is the temple. And a lot of the temples that are falling apart, people say, oh, they're overweight. No, that's actually not a truth. That's a label. What people have is a deep, unconscious belief that they are worthless.
Yep.
And they want to make that self-perception a reality so they don't look after themselves. So now they look in the mirror and they feel worthless. They confirm to themselves their unconscious, subconscious from childhood. Because if a parent screams at a child, you worthless piece of goddamn fucking, that child, majority of children will grow up and not look after themselves and make sure that they still feel as worthless as they did as a child. And that's why a lot of people do not look after themselves, because they're trapped in this worthlessness. And if they do go to the gym, it will be for a week, and then their nervous system, the whole system will go, no, stop being so worth. No, 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 you need to be worthless. Go back to being worthless. That's familiar. That's what, it's crazy.
Some people don't even get triggered to choose themselves ever. They just keep denying. The doctor says, stop eating this, take this. You know, your kids suffer. You lose something. You get inspired for a week, and their whole life they go on this up down frequency. And you know, we see it all the time, especially now on the screens, man. Like the moment you get motivated and you look at your screen, like the moment you see something like, oh, I don't have that house, or oh, I don't have that body. Like you might have been on a freaking roll, momentum, budgeting, saving, being happy, and then all of a sudden you see something that's just like all the way back to square one. And yeah,
Yeah.
through it a bunch of times.
I think that's a self-worth thing too, because you're comparing and judging yourself that you don't have that, where it's like, why wouldn't you be inspired that someone else did it, so it shows you that it's possible? That's how I look at people on social media. Like, they have something more than me. I'm like, damn, I can go get it too. Let me go. Let's see what they can do to get it.
I think it was Roosevelt that said comparison is the killer of joy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I put this in my book. So, you know, we go to school, a little school, and we're going to get a gold star. Now I go to school and I realize, oh, I got to get a gold star, and then I'll be valued. So now I do whatever the teacher says and I get a gold star. I'm like, I got a gold star. I'm somebody. Then little Sally gets 4 gold stars, and I'm like, fuck.
How did she do that?
I'm nothing. She got 4 stars. So now I'm comparing myself to someone else. Ever be as good as Sally. And now I give up because I'm comparing myself. I'm no good. No, not true. Sally. She just, let's see her keep up her 4 stars. Now she's trapped. Fuck, I've got to keep up 4 stars. I've got to be, she's now trapped in her 4-starness. She has to be 4 stars. So she's in this treadmill of constant hamster mill of keeping up. It's like an A student. The pressure to stay on top. But comparison, and we're in a world of comparison, but again, we're comparing ourselves to what people are showing, and this is it, everybody thinks what they see is happiness, and it's not. And that's the problem with what Hollywood is even when you see an actor on a chat show and they're funny and they're brilliant and you think, oh, they're famous and they got the money and they're in the sitcom and look at him, he's so charming. It's an act. An actor on a chat show is the act of the actor on the chat show. That's him playing on, this is now me at the game on the chat. And he comes off and goes backstage and he has the same stuff and she has the same stuff, the neurosis, the insecurity that they have to deal with. But we don't see the inner workings. So we compare to the outside and it's not real. It's not real.
Nothing is real. Nothing is real. I want to plug your book really quick though, just because you've been talking about the map. So if you're listening to this episode, we'll link it below so you can go check it out. I want to buy it immediately. Looks really good. The navigation and translation to life and the human experience. Okay. So go grab that. And a lot of your books now, you are writing a lot about centered around love, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is let's talk about love for a little bit for the last couple of minutes here. What is love to you and how can we embody love more in our daily lives?
Okay. So I'm an artist and this is one of my paintings.
Beautiful.
Love
This is the original, but there's a whole load. I've got a whole gallery of love paintings. And I came up with this love, Love, living very essence.
Damn.
Love that.
Bars.
When I do the work, as I move through the lenses, clear the lenses of my perception, and I come back to the unconditional, only the children will enter the kingdom. I find compassion for where everybody is. I lose my judgments, my criticisms. I understand that my soul is on its own personal journey. The more I get higher within myself, the more loving I feel, the more forgiveness I find, the more I get rid of my scarcity, my doubt, my worry, my fear, everything I constructed since I was a child, the more I go back to that child, which is joy and love. My essence, every single person on this planet is full of love. And that's what love is. It's this essential part of me. Now, love is fierce. You know, I don't want your energy around me if it's draining or it's a victim and you're not taking responsibility. I have compassion for you, but no, that's not coming into this field of resonance. But it's love is, and then again on a relationship, I'm humbled to have learned that, what we call love is a fiction. It's a romantic fiction. It's not, it's written by wounded people. Love in a relationship is where two people come together and mirror to each other their projections and they do the work. But this again is a whole education of knowing how to navigate. So when you're working on a level with someone in relationship, you start healing, which means you get all of your wounds and all of your traumas and everything start dissolving. Your intimacy and your union and your vulnerability get so deep that you can't, it's not like the movies, that's a fictional base. So you suddenly start entering into a different level of love that none of us have ever really experienced because we've been too busy projecting our stuff onto each other, which is friction and conflict, intermittent reinforcement, which is make up, argue, bickering, resentments, monotony. So they're love on many levels, but it's really an essential of the more I come to my essence within myself, the more loving I am, the more I work on my scarcity, my unworthiness, my undeserving, my wrong, bad, stupid, not good, unsafe, and I clear those lenses of perception and I dissolve them. I'm just literally revealing the love that I am, the love that you are, that we are. It's really quite special. So to me, that's what love is. It's my essence. The rest is the character I got caught and trapped in.
You gotta love yourself to know what that is, or to know how to get loved, or to identify the people that are able to love you. If you don't know how to feel loved, how do you know which people you like in your life? You're gonna be seeking love and trying to be a version of someone that they give love to, instead of being a version that
Yeah.
attracts the love for you, for sure.
I got I got a really harsh label for what an unloved person is, which is, again, all of us to a varying degree have become blind, bleeding beggars of our abandonment. And so we are begging outside of ourselves for what you just said, love. They'll love my wounded, hurt, pain. They'll make me feel better. And then the fictions of cartoons and Disney say to you and indoctrinate you saying that someone else will cure this pain of the unloved self. And so this blind, bleeding beggar then gets to matches with someone, but you can only attract from a level of your unloved self. So let's just say I really don't love myself at all. I have very little respect, love for myself. Am I going to meet someone who really loves themselves? Are they going to want me? Less will attract less.
Yeah.
And then I'll stay with really abusive, bad treatment because that's what I feel I deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if I have done a lot of work and I clear the lens of perception, I become more loving within myself, for myself, which you already am love, but I get rid of all the stuff. And then someone comes along, I'm like, no, I'd rather be with this on my own than take less. So you start meeting your match. So the more I get to work on myself and resolve and dissolve all the stuff, the higher level of love I'm going to meet in someone else. We're always going to meet a reflection in the mirror. We're always going to meet a teacher that's going to show us the next level we can go to. This is never going to end.
Never ending.
No.
Yeah, your love for yourself is your boundaries for others. So I think for sure you you gotta identify what that is for you by going within and accepting and embracing and then taking action and then reading, researching and talking.
Yeah,
Conversations.
one of my favorite books is A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. Have you read that one? So good. And basically the whole book is like God is love and God is all. The all is mind, right? So love is everything and we are love and we're all made of love and it's just finding that within yourself, like you said.
I don't know her. I learned it off by heart once, but Marianne Williamson's quote, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is not our darkness that most frightens us, but our light. And it's like, shine. That
But
doesn't mean from your ego. It's just that child. I say to people, you go to a busy space and you put on the music and you'll see virtually nobody in a cafe get up and dance. Very few people. You put a naked baby, 2-year-old baby in a busy place and put the music on, it will wiggle its tush and its butt and it won't care because it's shining. It hasn't shrunk. It hasn't belittled itself. It's still just like me here. That's that's what we should all be doing. And people, I get a lot of attacks online because I'm shining my light, and of course I get the projections of people's anger. Who do you think you are? You think you're enlightened? I'm like, I am not enlightened. I am not. I'm work in progress. So I don't know where that's coming from. And then they're like, you fucking this, you okay, okay, it's okay. And it's like, people don't like the light. It's okay. No, I get it. But yeah, to shine without the obnoxious ego is it's terrifying, because we had to restrict ourselves growing up because of the situation of our nuclear family, where we were quiet, stop it, no, behave, don't, shrink.
Yep.
And then school does the same. It restricts us and confines us. Deepak Chopra said, this is great. We have a kid. He's really crap at math, but he's an amazing genius at tennis. What do? We give him extra math lessons.
Yep, that's it. There was somebody, a teacher said that all the bad kids were the leaders in nature, but they act up in the classroom.
Yes, yes.
You just got to get around the people that are like-minded. And that's why y'all got to come on a retreat. We got a retreat, Costa Rica,
yeah.
October 17th. He could do exactly that. Yeah.
We're so excited.
Yeah, come on.
Wow, I love Costa Rica. I love Costa
We
Rica.
have 13 spots left. Whoever's listening, come on.
Great, man. What a great conversation, yo. Hey, thank you so much, man. Your content inspires me. This conversation inspires me, your work. So, everything you do is in alignment with what I believe. You just boosted my belief in myself. So thank you.
Why don't you really quick tell us how can people work with you? Where can they find you? And where all your books are on Amazon, right?
Yeah, all my books are on Amazon. Really, any place you can find me is on Instagram, David Fisher, and all the links in my bio are to the Evolutionist one-to-one sessions, which are literally a one-off session, which I take you through a very specific journey where you get to identify what is going on within you now, where it came from. And from that, I give you all the tools to work the moment to moment. So yeah, everything is on Instagram. It's like, that's it. All the links are there, and that's where you can find me.
Amazing. We'll link it all below. So make sure you rate the episode if you're listening to this. Tell us that you love it, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.
Thanks, David. Choose yourself.
Thank you.